Welcome to I Drink Your Podcast, where we drink and talk about movies from 2007.
The fourth dimension will collapse upon itself, you stupid bitch.
Shut up, I'm a man and I know what's good for me.
Bountiful penis. Amen.
Boy, my ass is sore.
You can get pink eye from farting in a pillow?
Yeah, but you gotta be bare-assed.
I'm gonna invent a toothbrush for your butthole.
It does the trick.
Paddington Bear.
He's a homewrecker?
Yeah, he wrecks homes.
You are a murderer of love.
I drink your podcast. I drink it up.
Welcome back to I Drink Your Podcast and our 1-year anniversary episode. We are officially 1 year old from the premiere we had from the There We Be Blood. Thank you to everyone who has spent the last year with us, listening to our show. We do appreciate your patronage. And with me today are Matt.
Hey.
Emily.
Hello, everyone.
And Wesley.
Fuck this movie.
No!
But also, yay!
No, this movie was wonderful. Epic, even.
Oh.
No.
Oh. That hurt. That hurt.
Before we get started, does anyone have anything interesting in their glass?
All right. Well, with that introduction, I already am very on the books for my emotions about this movie. It was terrible. Literally had a phone call with my parents right before this and was talking to them about I don't know how to pick a drink for this terrible movie. And my mom, in her excellent brilliance, suggested milk.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't go that route. I ended up going with the screwdriver because it's also extremely shitty and very simple.
But I like a screwdriver.
I do. I kind of do like a screwdriver, but that's not because I also like this movie. But I'm drinking a screwdriver.
All right.
I'm drinking a pineapple margarita because it is my least favorite drink, meaning I can't stomach it. I hate tequila. I hate the taste of it. I cannot stand it. And then I also don't really like fruity, like super fruity drinks, but pineapple is actually the worst. If it was pineapple and coconut and tequila, I probably would be barfing right now. But we just stuck to a pineapple margarita.
For the podcast.
For the podcast, everyone.
That's right.
For the podcast.
I've got a drink. It's called the Painkiller, which doesn't really fit because this movie's awesome and I love it. And I'm going to convince you guys by the end that it's a good movie.
No.
But it is spiced rum, pineapple orange juice, and creme de coconut.
Yeah, so that sounds like the worst thing in the world to me. Pineapple and coconut.
It's beautiful. Matt, tequila out of a Tupperware?
No, I right now I've just got LaCroix. I'm not drinking, but you know, this is something that people paid too much money for, and that's on theme.
Absolutely
for this movie. $20 million budget, made $86 million. My
Fuck
jaw is
that.
on the floor.
Jesus Christ! Oh,
earned every penny.
that almost makes me more mad than anything else that I've done today.
Right?
Jaws
The
on
fact
the
that it
floor.
made money.
Okay, so y'all, this is our 1 year anniversary. We've done 50-ish episodes since we started. Let's talk about the last year. What's been some highlights for you?
All of it.
All of it?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there are standouts in there, but in 2020, I have enjoyed so much the opportunity to hang out with y'all. Like it's seriously been a treat just to get to have a plan once a week. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it has been crazy that we started this idea prior to COVID, and then all of our episodes have come out after COVID. So
Yes.
I think that this podcast really marks the beginning of our indoor phase of COVID.
It really
It's
does.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, I've been indoor longer than that, but yes,
You're an indoor kid.
I'm an indoor kid.
I never in a million years that I was going to be on a podcast. So this has kind of been a really cool experience to, first off, get to know Wesley and Matt, because I already fucking knew Ben. And so now I get to know two cool people on this show with me and Ben. And it's just awesome to be a part of this and hang out with you guys every week. And I, again, like never liked the idea of podcasts because I couldn't focus. And now I'm like all about that shit. So it's been fun.
I guess my highlight would be Spider-Man 3, rewatching a classic. I don't know if you guys remember me getting...
Your dance!
Yeah. Getting stuck with that punishment where I had to do the Spider-Man 3 dance. That turned out to be really, really funny for me to do. And I hope you guys liked it.
Absolutely.
I really do. Yep.
Another highlight would be Chris Bennett when we did Blades of Glory. Love that guy.
That was really fun.
I mean, my highlights have been meeting Johnny Now.
I was just gonna say Johnny Now. Goddamn, holy shit! Was
what
that
a person?
But then, really, just any guest we've had. All of our guests have been just phenomenal and great, and it's been so good to kind of build this community of podcasters and other movie-based podcasts, and really get to know these people who love movies as much as we do.
Right. I love getting to know, and I do love getting to know Ryan Rodriguez from the Coolness Chronicles when we did Ocean's 13. That's probably one of my favorite episodes, actually. We had so much fun when we were doing Vegas shit. Mm-hmm. And then obviously our Cinephiles, When Cinephiles Attack, that knocked up episode is just so funny. I love that one. And Connor. Oh my God, I love Connor. The Simpsons episode and unfortunately Mr. Megorium's episode. Those are fun though. Those ones are really fun to listen back to.
Yeah. Even those movies that I don't necessarily like the episodes that we do with them, I enjoy almost the ones that we don't like more than the ones that we do like.
You know, I'm going to preface this episode with saying that that's not always going to be true. But I absolutely agree that the people we've got to meet and thank you, Emily and Ben, for making those kind of contacts. But the people we've met through this show has absolutely been incredible. And even the shitty movies that 2007 has provided, I think we've prevailed. And there's been some really great insight and conversation around movies that don't deserve to be talked about anymore, especially in 2020.
Do you guys have a favorite movie? Like what's the best movie you feel like we've done?
Well, that's a hard one for me because I would immediately go Ratatouille.
Sure.
Because I love animated movies, but I really did love like The Lookout. I didn't think, I had no idea going into it. I loved Sunshine, but we kind of knew Emily was going to love that because sci-fi.
Yep.
And then I was super surprised by Fracture and Assassination of Jesse James. You know, those were some ones that I didn't expect to like, but I absolutely loved.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was going to say Sunshine as well. I think the movies that I just having not seen them before on for this 2007 movie podcast, like Sunshine was incredible, but I think I got to go with one of our bonus episodes, which was the Host.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to go with Frank.
Oh my gosh,
it's better than this movie. But there have been a couple that have surprised me at like I've never seen before, but were super down Wesley alley, which take that how you will. But The Host was just so good. If you haven't heard that episode, please go listen. If you haven't watched that movie, double down on my last request where please go watch that movie because Bong Joon-ho, God damn it, that movie. I kind of want to go watch it right now. Can we not talk about this movie and I go watch The Host?
Unfortunately, no. Wes.
Oh, shit.
I guess my favorite would have to be, sorry, Wes, Walk Hard, a parody movie done correctly.
You know what, Matt? I feel like after watching this movie, I owe you an apology.
You certainly do.
Holy shit. Was that movie so much better than this?
I absolutely love Walk Hard. I think it's one of the best comedies of all time. There's other good movies that we've seen. In particular, I really, really like No Country for Old Men and Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. Hot Fuzz, I mean, was great to get to revisit that. I know Emily didn't like it, but Gone Baby Gone, seeing that for the first time, that was definitely a highlight. I love The Host. Revisiting Southland Tales and actually liking it, like
Right.
Southland Tales was a good one. All the ones you guys said too, except for maybe Walk Hard. I do.
Thank you, Ben.
I do really like.
It's the best one.
I liked it. I don't think it's one of my favorites, but I had fun.
I'm also very, very excited for some movies that we haven't done yet.
Yeah, we got a lot still coming.
Superbad and Hot Rod. Hot Rod might be one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So like I'm very excited for some upcoming ones.
Yeah.
I think the one I'm most excited to see is Atonement. I've never seen it before, but I'm very excited to watch this movie. And especially after seeing so many movies in the last year, I'm very excited now that I have a really good knowledge of what makes a good movie and
In 2007.
discovering more about myself. Yes, Wesley, but discovering more about myself and what I like. I think I'll probably love that movie.
I mean, Atonement is one that from the beginning I've kind of been holding back from you guys because I love that movie so much and I want to kind of build up these 2007 movies and then drop Atonement on you like a nuclear bomb because I think that movie's so good. But then we also got things like I Am Legend coming up and we got a run of musicals. I know Wesley's not super excited, but Sweeney Todd, August Rush, and Enchanted. Yep. Big
I
movies
love
coming
Sweeney
up.
Todd, so
Okay.
Yeah.
And then a personal favorite of mine, because I love Wes Anderson, Darjeeling Limited. Is one we got to do too. And then Zodiac, which Dylan won't shut up about wanting to be on for, and same with Rashawn. So got a lot more 2007 movies coming your way in the future. So thank you for sticking with us for this year, and hopefully you'll continue to hang out with us as we go through these movies.
Especially after this epic disaster.
Yeah,
God
let's get
damn
through
it.
today first, and then
I still can't believe that we have to fucking talk about this movie. I have never been so irate about something in my life. And we have a group thread, and I was texting the entire time that I was watching it, and I had like physical discomfort. I thought about quitting the podcast. This was the absolute worst fucking movie I have ever seen. So anyway, sorry to go ahead and continue.
I'm going to tease this a little bit. I have been saving this one also to drop on you guys like a nuclear bomb, just in the opposite
You're a
way,
fucking
because
dick.
I knew how bad this one was. During the first half of our podcast, we'll be discussing and reviewing Epic Movie, and the second half will feature our Battle of Twits. This week, a creative competition pitting all four of us against each other in an epic battle to celebrate our 1 year together. And our current leaderboard is Wes and myself with 6, Emily with 5, Guess with 3, and Matt with 2. But let's get in to Epic Movie. So Epic Movie was written and directed by Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer, and it features Cal Penn, Adam Campbell, Jayma Mays, and Fauna Chambers.
Welcome. My name is Harry Potter.
Aren't you a little old to still be a student here?
Nonsense. I am but 14, as are my two best friends, Ron and Hermione.
Greetings.
Hope you chicks are on the pill. Harry likes to get wasted, then show off his sorcerer's stones.
So I'm going to be real with you guys. We did not cut this into acts because this movie doesn't really have a traditional story structure or story at all. So I'm going to give you just a broad plot summary, and then we're going to go through this movie basically in the order of the things that it spoofs, since it is a spoof movie. So the plot summary for this movie is 4 orphans brought together by chance discover that they are actually siblings and must claim their birthright by defeating the evil ruler of a mystical land who's also the killer of their parents. Now that's a movie you guys want to see, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I give you that description and you want to see that movie.
So far, you're
Right.
on.
If
You're on
you
track.
gave me any more, I probably would be like, no thanks. But just that sentence, I could be like, yeah, mystical land,
Yeah.
evil ruler.
Yeah, let me hear more.
Okay.
So, okay, I disagree, but I think that maybe with some clever casting choices, you might be able to sell me on it. So, can you tell me a couple of the people that are cast in the roles that you vaguely described, because this movie's a piece of shit?
Yeah, so our 4 orphans are the 4 people that I listed prior to the plot summary. They are of varying gender and race, which I think is supposed to be a joke, within the movie, that these four people are brothers and sisters? Is that what you guys got as well? It's really hard to be like, what's a joke in this movie and what's not, and what are they trying to do and what?
I don't know.
I'm going to let you get through the plot summary before I really dive in.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. That's the plot summary.
Oh, I thought you were going to list off the things in the order.
No, we're just gonna, as we go through the show, I'm just gonna be like, okay, here's the first thing they spoof, and then we'll talk about that scene.
I see.
And why it worked for us.
Oh, shit.
It definitely worked for us.
Ben.
That's an assumption.
So the way this movie tries to do its spoofing is it wants you to laugh every 7 seconds. And it tries so fucking hard. It's like they thought about it. And then, like, they just don't give a shit about the next 7 seconds. It's just like a factory of terrible jokes where they're like trying so hard.
I disagree because I don't think they try very hard.
Really? No, I'm saying like they try hard, but they're idiot. Like, these are bad ideas. Like,
they did a bad job at it.
Their idea of a joke is just throwing up something that other people will recognize and then just being like, there it is. Do you get it?
Oh, that's so true.
That is exactly what went through my mind most of the movie after I realized this is bullshit. But all I wanted to know most of the movie was, how much of this does Emily understand?
Yeah, not a lot.
Okay, perfect.
That's not true. That's not true. I did actually understand quite a bit of the references because, okay, so we start off with the orphans and each of them are introduced in a different way with a different movie. So we start with Da Vinci Code with the red-haired chick. And right away, I am going, why is this funny? I don't get it. They're just copying exactly what's happening. And, oh, we have a black man in white face. Oh, that's funny, I guess. Okay. I don't even know.
Everybody stop.
Yeah.
You guys know that was Kevin Hart, right?
Yes, I know it was Kevin Hart.
I did not. I looked at most of the people in this and holy shit, that was Kevin Hart. Oh my God.
He knew better than to attach his name to it, so he went uncredited for this movie. So he's the one person who knew what he was doing was a bad thing.
Yep. But then we get into, I don't know, it was some sort of Mexican spoof movie. I don't
Nacho
know
Libre!
What that was.
Nacho!
Just that for a minute straight, though, because that's what the joke was him yelling Nacho for a minute before pulling out nacho cheese Doritos.
That was the most shocking reference I've ever seen in a movie. Like, who the fuck is going to reference Nacho Libre? But at the same time, that actor nailed it. I thought that probably one of the like less than handful of people in this movie fucking killed it. That guy who played Nacho Libre, I was like, oh, that was the best Jack Black impression I've seen in a long time.
Okay, so Jack Black plays a character that yells nacho over and over again. Is that what that movie is?
Plays a Mexican luchador wrestler who is also a priest who wants to be a wrestler. Yeah, he's a priest who wants to be a wrestler.
He works at some like ministry. I don't think he's a priest, but like, yeah, he's
Black, like a monk or, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, the orphanage now makes sense that they were all being religious. Okay, because I was like, what the fuck is happening?
That is a super long bit for people to buy into for a movie that I don't think 20% of the population has seen.
Oh, back then, though, everybody had seen it. It was on posters. Everybody was aware of Jack Black.
I love trying to defend
Matt.
it.
Like almost all of the references in this movie come from movies that came out in 2006.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, if you go down this list, Snakes on a Plane, 2006, X-Men, 2006, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005, Narnia, 2005 and 2006. Like, they all had movies come out within the last 2 years.
Wow. So they must have thrown this movie together in like 30 seconds.
That's what it feels like.
You're giving them a lot of credit, Emily.
We talked about when we did Juno that when they made Disaster Movie, which is the movie that came out after this and is somehow worse. I'm going to just leave that there.
No.
They were actually doing spoofs of things that weren't even made yet, but they had like seen a trailer for it and they're like, okay, we're going to make Juno one of our main characters in this disaster movie. So that's what they do, is they see a trailer for something that's going to come out and then they immediately spoof it.
Why? What is the purpose?
All of their comedy, though, is that, like, I recognize that Therefore, I can attach to it and find something I like about it.
Okay. So thank you, Emily, because that is the entire feeling that I had for the entire 92 minutes of this movie. I believe that it was
14 minutes of credits.
I mean, there was
and we did watch the unrated version, which had 7 extra minutes.
Thank God for that, right? Right, everybody?
Gotta see those titties.
What? That made no sense, by the way. Okay, can I make a confession?
Made no sense. Holy shit. Okay.
I clicked 1.5 times and I watched this movie at 1.5 speed.
Wow, that's a brilliant idea.
After the first 20 minafter I think it was David Carradine started dancing the Da Vinci Code.
That's literally 30 seconds into the movie.
After he starts dancing, I was like, I'm not watching this at regular speed. And it was still long. That's so
like the
long.
Second gag of the movie. You didn't even make it.
I was like, no,
Past the first scene.
That's what I texted all of you, where I was like, I don't know if I can continue this podcast.
Like, that wasn't funny. That wasn't funny.
Who finds this funny? Like, I absolutely do not understand.
It made money.
That's true.
Why?
And it made money, and this isn't the first time that they have done this. Like, it's not like this is the first movie by unknown people. Like, Date Movie came out the year before, and Date Movie is fucking trash, too. It's better than this one, but that's not saying much.
No, it's not.
I think there was just a market for this stuff, is what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, I mean, these guys, Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer, they are credited as... or billed as 2 of the 6 writers of the first Scary Movie, which the first Scary Movie is really the first major one to kind of pull in audiences for these parodies. Now, it's not really clear how much of the script or story they actually wrote. There's a little contention about that. Like, they got like additional writers credits on it, but so no one knows how much they actually did. But they were fired from being the writers and directors of Scary Movie 3 because they turned in a script that had parodies of Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and Star Wars, which clearly not scary movies. So they already have a history of pulling this shit. And like I said, this is the second of 8 movies that they've made. They made 8 of these spoof movies that they wrote and directed. So Date Movie. Are you
kidding me?
Date Movie's the one that came before this. It's a spoof of romantic comedies.
Nice.
After this came Meet the Spartans, which is a 300 spoof.
Right.
Then you had Vampires Suck, which is a Twilight spoof. They made a movie that I actually made Wesley watch one time, which is called The Starving Games, which is a Hunger Games spoof.
What?
Yep. And then they had Best Night Ever, which was a spoof of the Hangover and Bridesmaids movies. And then their last one is called Super Fast, and it's a spoof of the Fast and the Furious series. So,
okay, the name Super Fast, spoofing Fast and the Furious, does sound hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it was not executed well at all based off of what I just saw.
And Epic Movie is right now on IMDb the 12th worst movie ever made. Disaster Movie, the one that comes after this, is the number 1 worst rated movie on IMDb. So that's in the history of film. IMDb users say Disaster Movie's the worst one.
I would be very hard pressed to deny the fact that this is one of the 12 worst movies ever made.
Can I try to persuade you to make it a little bit better? Because I keep thinking of this movie as a long Doritos commercial. And it makes me like, okay, I see. They just have a long beginning and end to a Doritos commercial.
Okay, so we met 2 orphans. We're meeting the next 2. We get Snakes on a Plane, which the guy that was impersonating Samuel Jackson.
He was terrible.
He was, 1, terrible. And then also, how many fucking times did he say that? The fucking snakes on a plane. And it wasn't funny the first time. It wasn't funny the second time. And it just continued not being funny.
Well, he even calls himself out on it not being funny, but it's something that the internet bloggers love. Like, that's an actual line of the movie. So, like, I just don't understand who the audience is for some of these jokes. Like,
I think it's based on the trailer. I think Samuel Jackson says, I hate these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking on this motherfucking train.
No, it's plane.
Sequel idea?
I think that isn't that a movie?
So Snakes on a Train is a movie. Asylum Films, the ones that put out like the really close relatives to movies, like when Pacific Rim came out, they put out Atlantic Rim.
Okay.
So they do the ones that are like really close, but then have super cheap effects.
Snakes on a Train sounds pretty good because you could just jump off of the train.
It exists, Matt. You can check it out.
I forgot what I was saying.
You were going to pitch a Speed meets Snakes on a Plane movie, right? Snakes on a bus.
I don't know. Just forget I said anything.
So we meet the last guy, and he is one of the X-Men, and it's a high school kind of because it has lockers, and Wolverine because
it has lockers.
And Magneto is like one of their teachers, but he's an asshole to, I don't even remember his name, Peter. His name is Peter Pervert something.
Pervertsky.
I guess that's funny.
The names are taken straight from Narnia. All the characters have the same names as the Narnia characters. Peter,
but
Lucy.
Not last names.
Well, it's Pevensky or Pevensey in the movie of Narnia. So this is just a slight change to, be funny.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Not funny.
Pervertsky? You don't like that? Oh, wow.
Apparently not. But like he has superhero chicken wings, I guess, that definitely come into play later. That's really important.
Guys, I did this at least 20 times
He's
during this
face.
movie. I cannot believe that this is a thing that exists in the world.
Let me just articulate why it sucks, Wesley.
Thank you. From the same person who just also said that they were going to try to pitch me on why this was a good movie.
If you take this movie in little chunks, like it can be a stupid joke and you're like, oh, a stupid joke, right? But when a movie attempts to hit you with like a really unintelligent joke or reference every 10 seconds, like you can guess what's coming next. When Cal Penn goes over to the river, I'm like, it's not chocolate, I just started guessing everything, and I'm just like, you guys are fucking shit. I should be looking up the names of those writers so I could go and fucking threaten them or do something, but I don't know.
You're absolutely right, Matt.
That's because none of the jokes that they go for are surprising. They're literally like the lame jokes that people would put on Reddit when they see, like, wouldn't it be funny if it was poop?
But those are funny. The best jokes on Reddit are really good.
Yeah, I don't discredit people on Reddit. Like
Reddit can be funny, yes, but this is that laziness of we're not going to go beyond that. We're going to just keep it to a really basic level that everyone can understand, a superficial joke that's super obvious. And speaking of the Willy Wonka thing, I definitely was like, oh, we're just going to get little snippets of all of these movies. They're going to get to Willy Wonka and then they're going to go somewhere else. But turns out that something else is just fucking Narnia, and they're stuck in Narnia for like the whole fucking movie with random references.
Yeah, that was
what
tough.
The fuck? Like I was almost ready to go, yeah, I guess I can make it through this. But then they just made it a Narnia spoof. That's what this movie is. It's a Narnia spoof, and that's it.
Yeah, you know what, Emily? I think had they kept the pace of like just jumping from new movie to new movie every 4 minutes, I probably would have been able to handle it a little more. Okay,
Same.
I'm gonna stop the charade. I do not like this movie.
Okay, thank you, because that's been pissing me off for the past 2 days.
I was never scared.
But had they kept doing that, I think this movie would have been able to kind of maintain that. Like, if you threw on a YouTube playlist and just watched a bunch of random YouTube videos together, like it wouldn't bother you as much as this movie does.
Right, and this could have been that movie that you throw on in the background at a party and you go, oh, I get that reference, haha, and it just continues to go through, and you could just like sit around and drink and just talk to your friends over this movie. Not that I'd want to watch it again, but at least that pace would keep it different every few minutes.
Yeah, you take it from 2% to 10%. It's still enough.
So one of the spoofs within the Narnia spoof that we get is a spoof of the MTV show Cribs, which Emily does not know what Cribs is.
I don't. And I felt like there were many things in here that I'm going, I just don't get it. Like the same thing with Punk'd. Never heard of it, but I understood the concept of it. Same thing with Cribs. I was like, oh, I guess we're in a house and it's your crib. Okay. So I just kind of went with it.
That's pretty much the show. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, what? That's
you got
the show?
Yep.
It's famous people walk you through their houses.
They're like, here's what's in my fridge.
Mr. Tumnus is famous.
Well, yeah, he was in Narnia. Do you not remember that movie?
No, he shouldn't have been famous, but they were just like, here's another thing you guys are aware of. So we're going to just shove this into his house, and not even any of the elements make sense. Like his refrigerator full of Cristal is just like something that probably happened at a rapper's house or something.
Yep, that is exactly what happened.
I'm so fucking mad that we're still talking about this movie.
But then there were like the hornies, like the women that were wearing horns on their head.
I don't remember that ever in
Yep,
Cribs.
I definitely remember that. And I was like, is this in Cribs? Do they just have sexy women with horns on their head?
I mean, they didn't have horns, because that's kind of a Narnia thing.
Okay. But then there was this other guy that was also a fawn that's just hanging out with a sweatshirt.
Fawn
I don't
P.
remember what
Diddy?
it said.
Oh, yeah, that was
Fawn
Puffy.
P. Diddy.
I don't know.
You don't know who
that
P. Diddy
reference.
is?
I've
You know
heard
who
the
P-
name. I don't know. I'm assuming
You
he's a
don't know who
rapper or
P.
someone
Diddy is?
famous. I told you all, I'm too young for this shit. I don't understand anything.
P. Diddy goes beyond generational gaps. Like, P. Diddy is
Sean
for
Puffy
everyone.
Combs.
I literally don't know.
You
what
don't
you're
know who
saying.
Okay.
He's like our Justin Bieber.
I don't know who Justin Bieber is.
It's not, but that's hilarious.
Well, and then we get introduced to Justin Bieber's dad, Harry Beaver, who is Mr. Tumnus's lover.
Did anybody else look
'Cause
up
that was
who
funny.
Mr. Beaver was?
Yeah,
Who the
I knew from the voice immediately that it was Cat Williams.
Holy
I don't
shit.
know who Cat Williams is.
Oh my God, Emily.
Now I can respect that because he didn't have to show his face.
That's
True.
That's a good point.
He's
That's a really good
literally
point.
collecting a paycheck, and he's just going in there and be like, "I just had to say that dumb bullshit." Like he's the only person in this movie I respect.
They didn't even spend money on animating him well. That was one thing I wanted to bring up, and I guess since we're not really doing a 3-act structure, but who is the person you most and least respect / disrespect for being in this movie?
Oh, can I go first? Because I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I want to know, before I make my answer, was Cal Penn in this movie before or after he was in the White House?
It was definitely after, because they reference White Castle within the movie. And they call him Kumar when they kill him.
Sure, but I'm talking about the White House. Didn't he get into politics and work at the White House?
Oh, that was with Obama, so that was after this.
Yeah.
Okay. It's crazy that he went from this to working in politics, and I'm just like, ugh.
Matt, does that mean that you think that Cal Penn was the most expected person to be in this, or did you think that
he's a real slime ball for being in it?
Okay.
But is that okay? So let me preface.
He respects him the least for being in this movie.
Right.
Okay, because for me, Jennifer Coolidge, I feel like, yeah, I
agree.
I expect her to be in this movie.
I did too. As soon as I saw her, I was like, I've seen her in this exact role 100,000 times, and I'm okay with it.
And she's in Date Movie too, so it's not like this is her first.
God damn it.
She knew what she was getting into with these people, because this is not her first go around. The one I least respect for being in this is Daryl Hammond.
Oh yeah, that was
who
hard.
plays the Jack Sparrow character, Jack Swallows.
I don't know who Daryl Hammond is.
He'd been on SNL already for 15 years, so going to this after SNL, it's like, come on, dude, you're better than that.
Also, I feel like pretty widely known, but drug habit, and struggled very, very hard with heroin for a while.
Although I think he did a good job impersonating Jack Sparrow.
I'll agree. Yeah.
How hard is it to impersonate Jack Sparrow, though? It's such a...
I'm gonna wave my fingers around.
Have you ever done it?
Yeah.
I can't see you.
That was not very good,
I'm
Ben.
assuming you're doing something
good.
visual right now.
It was not good.
Yeah, I nailed it.
You did not.
They're already calling me for Pirate 6.
I can't respect anyone in this movie. Honestly, I really can't, because you read the script, you know what you're getting into. But the person that I'm besides Jennifer Coolidge, that I was like, oh yeah, you're in this, is Fred Willard. I'm like, yeah, I can see you in this.
See,
R.I.P.
and Fred Willard is one of the things in this movie that I don't hate, is Fred Willard's character.
Right.
I think his line about his dad being Roy and his mom being a lion, like that almost made me laugh.
But at the same time, that was the same joke they already did with Cat Williams' Beaver character. There was nothing new, clever, or smart about that line. So why did Fred Willard's character land with you versus Cat Williams' character?
It's all about delivery. Fred Willard can say anything he wants and he's going to make me laugh because of his character in Best in Show and his character in A Mighty Wind. Like, if any character is going to make me laugh in that movie, it's going to be Fred Willard. And in fact, the only time I did laugh out loud was when it switched from Fred Willard to the very obvious Asian man doing the stunt. That got me to laugh because that was so jarring because I was not expecting that to happen.
I hated it in the moment, but like only for a split second because I realized it was so on purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the only things this movie did right was like
yes,
on the nose
body double switches.
Yeah, from this bullshit movie, that was one of the only things that this movie like knew that it was doing and did. So I would agree with that.
I will also say that the Harry Potter stuff got close to being satire.
Why?
Because it was at least making fun of something about Harry Potter, the fact that they're all like aging faster than the movies are. It got close to making a good joke and then backed off immediately.
I didn't make that connection.
I didn't either.
At all, but I do see now what you meant by that.
Yep.
But I also didn't pick up on Lucy, Edmund, and Peter and Susan until they were in fucking Narnia. I was like, oh, I get it now.
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I really appreciate that insight afterwards, but like I did not find the Hermione stuff funny at all, especially in the end credits when she starts talking about like Shrek having sex with her and
what?
Oh yeah. Oh, Emily, you didn't watch the outtakes.
Yeah. In the outtakes, Hermione has like lip herpes, I'm assuming, and she says like, why did I have sex with Shrek? Like that's it.
That was the joke. Yeah.
That's the joke. What the fuck was this fucking movie? I'm so fucking pissed. We're still talking about this movie.
So we're getting towards the end of this movie now. And one reference that they throw at us near the end is literally our main characters, three of them, just walking through this Narnia camp. And it turns and it's got James Bond, because James Bond came out 2006. And then it's got Borat. And for Borat, they don't even attempt an original joke. They literally just do a line from the Borat movie and make it Narnia specific.
What is it? I don't care, but...
This is my sister. She is number 4 fawn prostitute in all of Narnia. And then he kisses her.
They did say that she was a fawn.
Yeah, that's what they changed. Yeah.
One line that stood out to me, and I should have written down like when it happened, but I'm pretty sure it was Cal Penn said to another character, "You've got to be kidding me," which I think in a parody movie where the entire conceit of a parody movie is that this is all a joke spoofing something else. The fact that you can write a line that "you've got to be kidding me," like that made me so aggressively mad.
And I think we talked so much about how good parody works and how to spoof things properly. And it's coming from a place of love first. So the few parody movies I've seen that aren't really quite like the naughties parody movies, right? Like early 2000s, I could give a shit, except for maybe Not Another Teen Movie. But Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights, I love those. They're very funny. Or even Val Kilmer in Top Secret. So funny. They're spoofing something that is a genre or a big thing. And this is just like, man, I don't even remember. What did you say? It's
trying for like the lowest hanging fruit every 8 seconds. And what you wanted to know, like what I called it earlier?
No, that's fine. I just think it's funny that you change every single time. It was 7 seconds, 10 seconds, now 8 seconds. And I just love it.
All I know is there's a Doritos commercial in the middle that kind of works.
I would like some Doritos right now.
Well, is there anything else in this movie that worked for you guys besides the Doritos commercial for Matt?
Okay, can I just say the thing that stands out to me the most is like film is an industry. So it's like I'm watching the credits here and I'm just like each name I'm like fucking hell yeah. Congratulations on your paycheck. Like at our expense. You know, like this is just like poison coming off of a factory into like drinking water where we're just innocent bystanders. But you know, there's a dialect coach for the guy that did the Mel Gibson impression. That's fucking awesome.
There was a Mel Gibson impression?
Yeah, there was a Mel Gibson impression.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That because they did it twice. And the second time I realized what they were doing, it was that bad.
The dialect coach didn't do his job well, but he got paid.
That's right.
And that's what matters.
Can I give a couple shout outs to things I enjoyed in this movie?
Yes,
Please.
Ben.
Okay. Costumes and makeup. I thought the costumes were really well done. And the makeup on that Mystique character was actually pretty good. Like the makeup on Tumnus is actually pretty good. Like
that's true.
That part of it was decent. Whoever was in charge of making the music that sounded just like the other music, but was different enough to not get sued.
Yes.
Like thumbs up, man.
They
like,
did a great job.
The first 3 notes of the Harry Potter music, I knew it was Harry Potter, but it wasn't the Harry Potter music. And it's like, way to go. Same with the Bond music, Mission Impossible.
Was that because of the music though?
It was. Like the
It
Mission
was definitely
Impossible
music.
one was before I even realized it was a Mission Impossible spoof.
Okay.
You know, my favorite part about this entire movie was actually when all the main characters died. Not at the end. Not at the end.
You mean in the battle?
When the battle, they all died except for Peter. And I was like, yes, thank God.
Before the click remote?
Yeah, whatever the fuck that was.
Have you not seen Click?
God, no, of course not. You know me, Wesley. I haven't seen any movie before.
Click's decent.
Click is not decent. Fuck off.
Better than this.
Come on, yeah.
I just was so happy that they were all like, yeah, we're going to do this. And they all died. And I was so excited for that to happen. And then, of course, brought them back. And I did chuckle when they were all peeing in the snow as old people, though.
That was
the
funny.
makeup on those old people, too. Like, that was good old age makeup.
No, I totally agree with Emily. And I don't know how much of it was like kind of a spoiler because Ben had in the group's text where I was absolutely just saying like, I'm going to fucking quit. This movie sucks. Ben sent something to the effect of like, just wait for the payoff. And I knew that was sarcasm.
No, it's not.
Bullshit.
Jack Swallows goes by on the wheel, and then all of a sudden he shows back up and kills them. That's set up payoff, baby.
Okay, maybe like the
only
actual
set up payoff.
Yeah, maybe like the final actual payoff. But like, I totally agree with Emily that like when the battle happened and they all actually died, I was like, yes, this is the way to end this movie.
It probably should have been. Like, that should have been the end.
Absolutely should have been. Absolutely should have been. Who the fuck knows what Click is? Like, I obviously Emily doesn't, for Emily reasons, but like, who the fuck knows what Click is?
Was huge back when this movie came out. They were
Click and Nacho Libre were the most out there references in this movie that like I could not believe that they tried to make that be a part of their entertainment movie, and they added Click and Nacho Libre. I'm a very specific audience, but do you guys?
A Click grossed $240 million worldwide, and it came out in 2006.
Well, it's Adam Sandler.
They don't give a fuck. They would have done a 60 Minutes episode of Monica Lewinsky if everybody watched it. So like they're just following wherever there was like, oh, I saw that, let's put it in.
Well, and I think Wesley, the part of that too is that like a lot of people would say, "What's snakes on a plane?" Like unless you were an internet kid who like hung out and watched movies at that time, like you're not going to know what Snakes on a Plane was. So it's about hitting as many cultural touchstones as you can to bring in the broadest audience as possible.
Oh, is that why it made money? It hit the broadest audience.
Well, I mean, that's definitely why, yeah.
In theory.
I think that Snakes on a Plane had a more cultural touchstone because of how ludicrous it was versus Click. Like, Click, nobody knows what Click is if you haven't seen Click.
Even though I didn't know what it was, I understood what was happening. I was like, oh, it's a remote. I bet that's a movie. Like,
well,
I figured it out.
At the end of an hour and a half of just like 100% pure references.
Right. And so I was like, okay, whatever. That's fine. That can be the solution. He finds a fucking remote.
Do you guys want to try to guess which one of the 4 main characters I actually enjoyed in this movie?
Wasn't Cal Penn.
It was Susan because of her barfing.
Oh.
Oh my God, no. I don't remember the actress's name, but it's
Lucy?
It is Lucy.
Why?
I actually enjoy the fact that she constantly repeats what Susan says, because I think if this were a smarter movie and the intention was to kind of show how white people are constantly stealing from black people, like that's actual
true.
Like funny satire, but I don't think that was their intent. I think it was just like the annoying sister who repeats everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if it's actually just white people stealing from black people, like that's pretty clever. And there's something about Lucy's portrayal of this dimwit that I do think is kind of sweet. Like there's something about her character that I'm drawn to, that it's just like, yeah, you're kind of funny. Her constantly kicking the beaver. You don't see her boobs very often.
Just talking
very often.
Very often. Like does she have good boobs? I didn't even notice.
I don't know.
Great cover.
Yeah, thanks.
Wouldn't it be funny if like in 10 years this movie just got better and better? Like it was just like, oh wow, all these hidden themes we didn't notice and pick up on.
No, there is zero chance this movie ages better a year from now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now.
Just keeps getting better and better.
This movie's relevance peaked the day it came out. Wesley, do you have any observations for us?
These are just a few of our incredible thoughts.
Guys, are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Nope.
That's about right.
Because this entire fucking movie was a disgrace to my eyeballs. I'll say this. At one point in this movie, they insinuate that the 3 of the 4 orphaned children have sex with a half-man, half-lion Fred Willard. At which point they cut to the British guy. I don't remember his name, Peter. They cut to Peter, who says, "My butt is sore." And then they cut to Fred Willard saying, "Dutch oven."
Keep in mind, too, this is after they've already established that these 3 are brother and sister by blood.
After they established that these 3 people who assumed they were orphans now know that they are not orphans and they are all related to each other.
Well, they're still orphans. Their parents are still dead.
Oh, that is how orphans work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sure is, Wes.
Ben, let's play a game.
Okay! Game on! Game on! Game on!
Well, watching this movie, I kind of felt like Nelson in that Simpsons episode where he walks out of the theater of Naked Lunch and is like, there are 2 things wrong with that title. For this movie, I felt the same way because there's nothing epic or movie about this movie. So the name of my game is called Whoa, like epic movie, bro. So I'm going to give you a movie that was spoofed within this movie, and you need to tell me if I think the original is an epic movie. So it's actually going to be an easier game today. Wesley, can you roll the die to tell me who's playing today?
It is Matt.
Okay, Matt, so I'm going to give you a movie. You need to tell me if it's epic or not epic.
Okay. I'm ready.
60 seconds on the clock, and away we go. The Da Vinci Code.
Not epic.
Correct. Nacho Libre.
Not epic.
Correct. Snakes on a Plane.
Epic.
Incorrect. X-Men The Last Stand.
Epic.
Incorrect. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Not epic.
Correct. Chronicles of Narnia.
Epic.
Correct. Mission Impossible.
Epic.
Incorrect. Superman Returns.
Epic.
Incorrect. Harry Potter.
Epic.
Correct. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Not epic.
Incorrect. Click.
Not epic.
This is a tough one.
Correct. Borat.
Not epic.
Correct. Did he get over 6?
7.
Yeah, you got
Way
7.
to go, Matt.
Matt, you got
did
a
it.
point.
Just barely. I thought
Barely.
that would be
Oh,
way
my
easier
Lord.
than that.
Well done. That seemed harder than Ben let on.
Yeah. You made it
Yeah,
seem to be like a
50-50 shot.
cakewalk. Yeah, that's true.
Fuck you.
Emily, what did you learn from this movie?
I'm learning.
You know what I learned? I learned that you shouldn't trust any prizes in food or candy, and you really should stay out of the closet.
Ooh, that's a
You guys
I'm
look
gonna have
so
to think on that one.
confused.
we had to ponder that one.
Out of the wardrobe.
When Lucy opens the wardrobe the first time, everything falls on her and there's a naked woman running around. Stay out of there.
Oh my god, I forgot.
And there's a
about
white bitch in there that's going to kill you. Stay out of the closet.
Matt, can you give us a review for this movie, just real quick?
Yeah, sure. Great movie. Stifler's mom is great. Great American movie picture. Not. That's it.
What's your rating?
0 out of 10.
Overscored.
10 out of 10. Not.
Same joke.
And now it's time to play Battle of the Random Pop Culture References That Aren't Funny. I will Borat 3 rounds of X-Men to our less than Fred Willards and let them Nacho Libre me into who is pregnant Hermione this week. And after, I will Tomness the Stifler's mom. This week we'll be doing a round robin, and one person will be Cat Williams in a Beaver voiceover. The rest of the people won't exist anymore.
All right, I guess we're doing Survivor style because I don't know what the fuck that was.
So, Dutch oven lovers, are you filthy?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. For question 1, being the 1-year anniversary of our show, let's try to take down Ben. Am I right?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. We
No.
can all agree. All right. So all 4 of us get to play today. And for question 1, we are going to go around the table and describe a 2 to 3 minute spoof scene from a movie of your choosing that would fit into epic movie. So the order we will go in is Matt, Emily, myself, and then Ben. So Matt, why don't you kick us off?
All right. Well, this movie is too good. You know, we're close to being the very worst. And I think you should always try to be the best at being the worst. This movie needs to piss us off more. So my parody would be Michael Moore's Sicko documentary. Who cares which documentary it is? You could throw in Michael Moore. It's from the same year. And it's just a guy with a camera crew just fucking being just a dick to everybody, asking them very personal questions and then doesn't listen to their answer and then starts talking about the American healthcare industry. And everybody would be like, what is this fucking guy doing here? And he would be played by a skinny, white, unpleasant man in a sumo suit with a suit over the top of that. And he would have a goatee. And he would meet all 4 characters at the same time because this movie's lazy. And that's what this movie needs. So, yeah. That's
so,
is this Michael Moore's character person? Is he like fat? Is that why it's a skinny guy in a sumo suit? Is that I picked up on that? Okay.
Yeah, he is a fat man. And let's go to Emily.
During the party scene, everyone's getting drunk and having a great time. Lucy is going to be looking off to the side, and she looks and sees a handsome giant blue man in quotations with long braids drinking with some other tall giant movie characters like Hagrid and Chewbacca. And she notices him checking her out. So she twirls her hair a little bit and smiles at him. And so he leaves his group and asks her to take a walk with him away from the camp. They come across some glow-in-the-dark trees, and he starts talking about the connection to Ganarnia's plants and ancestors. And Lucy just keeps looking at his bulging loincloth since it's at her eye level. The blue man, named Jake, asks to braid Lucy's hair. And she looks at him funny, but says, sure. So he starts to braid her hair to his hair and to the trees and starts moaning, eyes rolling back in his head. Lucy has no idea what's going on because she's a dipshit and starts to mimic his noises, although very unenthusiastically. After Jake finishes, he asks, "Was it good for you?" And Lucy nods, awkwardly. And Jake lifts up his loincloth and pulls out some cigarettes from his fanny pack, which was the bulge. Otherwise, it's all Ken doll down there. And he starts smoking. Lucy leaves without a word. This was supposed to be unfunny, Wesley. Stop laughing.
I'm sorry. Every time you said Jake, I just...
I tried to fit it within the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You made the movie better.
Oh,
that's not good.
No, Wesley.
Mine is like, it's cars, but like, it's just some cars. So the scene is literally just the commercial where Matthew McConaughey wordlessly behind the wheel at night is driving under streetlight after streetlight. But then you cut to that car in a parking lot behind a gas station, and the headlights are blinking as the wipers push off the washer fluid, which is tears. Oh, it's sad. The grill of the car quietly weeps and mutters incoherently about how the all right guy was once inside him and was the most gentle and had his hands on his steering wheel.
And where in the movie does this go?
In this movie?
Yeah, in Epic Movie.
Yeah, who fucking cares?
Does it interact with the other characters? Or?
No, it is a straight up spoof that doesn't make any sense. And the fact that it is a cultural thing is the only reason that it made it into this movie. And it was able to take both the Cars franchise and Matthew McConaughey's commercials and combine them. That's why the writers thought that it was okay.
I don't know the Matthew McConaughey commercials.
He's in a bunch of Lincoln commercials.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's
much later after 2007, Wesley.
Yeah,
well,
that's
so
fine though. That wasn't a requirement.
That wasn't part of the...
I know.
Don't get your fucking shit out of here.
Just posturing. That's all.
No, that's fair. Totally fair. Understandable from your point of view.
I feel like I made mine too funny.
Maybe.
Shit.
So then the last up after me, because I'm guiding this journey for all four of us on this special 1 year anniversary is the fucking leader himself on the scoreboard, the winner of all the most points, and the dick among thieves is
mother of points, dick of thieves
is Mr. Ben. So Ben, why don't you indulge us with your answer?
Most of the movies spoofed in Epic Movie weren't epic and were just simply movies that came out in 2006. Well, one of the biggest movies that came out in 2006, but was not featured in this movie, was Happy Feet. So after Edward gets to the white bitch's castle, he encounters the white bitch's guards outside the castle, who just so happen to be penguins. The penguins prevent Edward from entering the castle by torturing him with Bush-era torture tactics, like waterboarding, electric shock, and then even holding his eyes open and forcing him to watch something on repeat, like in Clockwork Orange. Only in this case, Edward's forced to watch Brokeback Mountain, because that's what these people would think would be torture, is watching something good. All of this happens in an extended singing and dancing scene, as we'd expect from Happy Feet, set to the song Fergalicious. Literally a repeat of the scene earlier in the movie with Willy Wonka. They already have the rights. They're using the same song.
Wow.
Okay, so the way that this is going to work is we are going to order the answers. You cannot give points to yourself, but you give 3 points for your favorite answer, 2 points for your second favorite, and 1 point for your least favorite. And again, the spoofs were supposed to be bad and unfunny and obvious because that's what would fit in this movie. So along those criteria, let's hear what everyone thinks as far as divvying out points. Does someone have their numbers ready?
3 Ben, 2 Matt, 1 Wes. It just wasn't obvious for me, Wes. I'm sorry.
Okay, Matt?
3 2 Ben, 1 Wes. For obvious reasons. So
you fucking dick.
Wes?
3 Emily, 2 Ben, 1 Matt.
Wow.
It was close between Matt and Ben, but Emily just, stole it for me.
It was supposed to be bad and unfunny. She stole it for you because hers was above and beyond the worst one.
I mean,
I think the fact that you have a good movie contained in your bad movie should knock your points. If anything, he should be forced to watch the dailies from the previous day of shooting.
No, because that would actually be funny, because then they would be making fun of their own movie. That would be an attempt at humor.
I don't want to disregard any of your scoring. I think mine is the least funny.
I agree, but I also don't think it's obvious.
I also think yours is the least fitting in the movie, though.
That too.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I'm just saying, like, should I have scored it lower because it's funny? Like, I don't know. That seems odd.
It's however you want to do it. You already got your points in there. I'm just saying, like,
I have
the intent was to write something that wasn't funny.
But I liked it. That's why I gave you 3 points, just because in my interpretation of the rules, I would say that was the best answer. So
I agree. Emily, you got 3 points from me, Matt 2, and Wes 1.
Okay.
So I agree with that. It's just Wesley was laughing about how funny it was, and it's like, that's not what we're doing. But
yeah.
Okay.
I tried to make it awkward and uncomfortable, but that made it funny, I guess.
I think funny is interpretable, whether it's like funny for the plot or funny versus.
Imagine me saying that after a stand-up set.
The thing that I thought that Emily's was really funny was the Jake. That had nothing to do with the
Oh, really?
story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't even know his avatar until well after the pitch.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. With the winner from question 1, I now want everybody, since I am not a contestant anymore, tears, whatever, choose a movie from 2007 that we've already covered, kill one of the main characters off from that movie at the very end, and explain why it makes the movie better. So we're going to start off with Ben, who chose to do American Gangster.
Yeah.
So, Ben, let's hear it.
Yeah, so at the end of American Gangster, the movie ends in freeze frame with Russell Crowe preventing Denzel's character from stepping in front of a car as they cross the street. In my fix to the movie and improvement of the movie, the only difference is that he doesn't stop him and Denzel gets hit by a car and dies. The movie still ends in freeze frame, but the freeze frame is on Denzel's character the second he's hit by the car, because that's the only justification for a freeze frame ending, since that would be the last frame of consciousness for Denzel's character. It's literally the end of his story. The freeze frame means something in this case, and this makes the movie better because it turns it more into a crime cautionary tale, and it fits with Crowe's character better of him wanting to help others, but knowing that actions have consequences and crime doesn't pay.
Crime doesn't pay.
Crime doesn't pay.
You cheesy bitch.
What a line.
We will step right into the second answer, which is going to come from Matt, who chose The Mist.
Okay. So for those of you that have not seen The Mist, it's a wonderful book, kind of bad movie. And this movie ends with him killing all of his friends and his son without checking to see how many bullets he had left in his gun. Rookie move. In my version of the movie, which happens at the very end, he notices that he has a real 2 birds, 1 stone situation. So he arranges his friends and family how he needs to before they get shot. Say cheese! And now there's enough bullets for him to kill himself before he's rescued. So my killing off of the main character takes it from a definitely bad movie and moves it into the good category, as it is a clear-cut difference from the book, not some half-ass bullshit. If you're going to murder suicide, you need to do it 100%.
What a line.
Holy shit. I need to, hold on, I need to write that down.
On such good lines.
All right. And with that, we're left with the only one who didn't get cut from the first round, i.e. not me, which was Emily, who chose Transformers. So how are you going to kill off somebody from Transformers, Emily?
Yeah, I'm picking Shia LaBeouf.
Obviously, yeah.
So Sam is going to die in the first movie so we can put a stop to the shitty franchise because it just gets worse. At the end of the movie, Sam, you know how he rams the Allspark into Megatron? Well, yes, it kills Megatron, but it also sets off an explosion that makes him fly through the air, and he's injured and dying because explosions at bodies doesn't work very well. Optimus Prime is going to catch him in his arms, and as Sam is dying, he wishes for the Autobots to be adopted by his parents so they can have a home, since they no longer have the Allspark to fix Cybertron. This is a really heartfelt scene in which there is much crying, and Optimus lets out a roar of frustration that fills the city. He's going to hold up Sam's limp body, which is going to be lighted beautifully by Michael Bay's pretty colors. So we get a scene of all the Transformers later hanging out at Sam's parents, having a tea party and toasting to Sam's memory and sacrifice. So yay, happy ending for just the Transformers.
Wow.
Sure, Matt.
First of all, you can't stop the Transformers franchise.
The Michael Bay version.
you cut off the head of Shia LaBeouf. 2 Wahlbergs grow back in its place. So, but I loved your movie. It was pretty good.
So who's eliminated, Wesley?
Yeah, am I judging this right now?
Yep, and you just tell us who's eliminated.
Oh gosh, gang. I've never been in this position before where I have to decide a winner of something on our show about some stupid answers. My absolute winner is Matt. I thought that was
yes.
I thought that was the best answer.
Oh, you're safe. Elimination round, Ben.
I'm wearing the idol.
And I honestly think that Emily's is a better answer. I enjoyed dying off to eliminate this bullshit franchise way too much. So I think that by killing off Shia is the way to go.
R.I.P. Ben.
I think yours was the most serious and thoughtful answer. I loved it. But I think Matt and mine were too silly. I'm sorry.
I think Ben's was more logical and there wasn't as much work that you had to put into creating that situation. They all made sense, but yeah, I think that's kind of why I went the way I did, because...
What would you have done if you did Ratatouille?
I would have killed off Anton Ego.
Okay.
Like, he eats the meal and then dies from, like, just gratification.
Where at the very end of the movie?
No, like, literally, like, he eats the meal and then we see his life flash before his eyes.
Oh, that's
and then he
good.
dies?
And then he dies.
Yeah, so how does that affect Remy then?
He never cooks again.
Yeah, you should have gone Ratatouille, brother.
That was good.
You should have gone Ratatouille.
That would have won. Oh,
fuck
that's
that rat.
so good. Man, you're so creative. God damn it.
So, moving on to question 3, it seems like we have a showdown between Ben and no, not Ben, Emily and Matt. So, for question 3, since it's just down to the two of you, I need you to talk for a minute straight and convince Ben to watch Epic Movie again, even though he's seen it more than is humanly consumable. So, Matt, we're going to start with you.
Ben, homie, listen to me. Epic Movie is not that bad. It's not as bad as the people have been saying it is. All right, you're going to be silent through this whole thing. All right, that's fine. I'll stand here. I'll monologue at you, sir. This movie is really good, actually. For 30 seconds ish, in the middle, there's a Doritos commercial, and it's just it's the only good part, if I'm going to be honest with you. But this movie is actually worth a watch. And listen, homie, you got to check out this movie, dog. I'm telling you, you got to check this out. All right. You still haven't said anything. I'm gonna close the door. I'm gonna close the door. I'm just gonna leave it unlocked, and you can lock it when I leave. All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, that's about a minute.
It's talk for a minute straight. It's not dialogue with Ben.
No, that's fine. I know.
All right, Emily. Matt just gave his answer, so now it is time for you to try to convince Ben to watch Epic Movie I guess like a third or fourth time. I don't even know at this point, and I'm ashamed.
But pretending it's your first time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hopefully I don't repeat exactly what Matt says, because I feel like
there's no chance that you do.
There's no fucking way.
Okay. Ben, you know what you love more than anything in the world? You love bad movie marathons. I know this about you. And this movie, did you know that it's the 12th worst movie of all time? Like, I know that you are into that shit. Like, you love to watch terrible, terrible movies. I'll even let you pick the other worst movie of all time. Did you know there is all sorts of great references to, meaning terrible references, to the best movies of all time? Like, I know you love you some Harry Potter. You love Harry Potter. Yeah, they do a terrible job spoofing that. You'll love that. Also, Narnia, all that magic and shit. I know you think that's epic. It's great. So we'll watch a really terrible movie and just get really drunk together. It'll be the best time ever. I know that you are all about those bad movie marathons.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
It's painful how much I know that is true, and that one of my best friends in the entire world is Ben, who loves these movies, who, after I complained about this movie today while watching it, said, "Oh, I've already watched this in a movie marathon with other movies of similar caliber." Oh, that hurt. That hurt.
Well, Matt, I love that you talked to me in the way that you always do by calling me homie and dog. Like, I thought that really resonated with me.
It said to convince. I was like, I'm going to be a full character here.
And Emily, I love that you went after things that I do love, which are bad movies. You used a lot of logos in your argument, which I really appreciated. And Matt was more going with the pathos stuff.
I was like, I'm going to stand here in front of you and I'm going to just tell you these things.
Yeah. I also think it was funny that Matt was constantly trying to get me to engage with the things he was saying, and I wasn't. And then Emily was talking, and I was engaging with her.
Yes.
I was giving Matt very little to work with. In the end, though, Emily was more convincing in getting me to watch the movie, because I do love bad movies a lot more than I love Doritos commercials.
Matt's only argument was there's 30 seconds in this movie that are worth it.
Yeah, his first sentence was, "It's not that bad, but it's not good."
It was a solid attempt from both competitors. I think everybody did phenomenal today.
Congratulations, Emily. You won the Survivor battle again.
Hey.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll update the leaderboard now. I don't think that pushed any of us over the threshold. So we'll continue to tally those points. And thank you to everyone for listening. Please subscribe, rate, share, stay with us as we continue to go through 2007 movies. And follow us on social media, IDYP_podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And then we're also on email. We have an email. idrinkyourpodcast@gmail.com.
We're on email.
We're on email now.
That was it was so unintentional. Oh my God.
This movie broke us.
It did.
Oh man.
Next week, we'll be having on Martin and Nick, the effing nerds, again. They'll be coming back and joining us as we watch Smokin' Aces.
Ooh.
Which
smoking.
I remember hating the last time I saw it. So
I know nothing about it.
Yeah. Don't know if I've ever watched it.
Is it a comedy or something?
It's like an action comedy. There's comedy parts to it. It's like a comedic action movie.
Is there smoking?
Are there aces?
That was going to be my next question.
That's why we make a good team, Emily.
Yeah, I know. Love you.
Okay. Well, join us next week, and we'll see you all again.
Bye.
Hopefully. Bye.
Bye.